Okay, we ran out of film, and we're going to keep on going here. What we're going to do here is we're just going to start rounding off the pea pod itself. So we're just going to go on the bottom here and just kind of take off the edges a little bit. You want a little bit of a platform there so it can sit up. You want to take that all off. I think you get the general idea. And we're going to round off the top here. You have to be kind of mindful how this, see how it's pulling? I have to turn that around. Do it the other way. Just like so. Alright. Just want to round that off. And then we'll put the little pea pods itself on the side after we have this all done. And after we get the baby face done and all that, we'll do that. I'm just going to kind of round this off a little bit. You know when your knife is sharp when you go across the grain. I see this is pulling a little bit down here on the blade, but that's alright. It'll work just fine. Alright. You'll notice me switching to different knives, folks. I use one for a while, and then I'll switch from the pocket knife to a standard knife again. So you'll see different ones along the way. If you're like most carvers, you'll have 2 or 3, maybe 4 or more knives that you like using all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, some people stick with one knife all the time, and some people keep switching it. See that little white line? That I know. So I'm just not quite right with the blade today, so I might switch it again to something else. So. But the tip of it works really well, so I'm going to stick with it for now. Alright, now we've got to do down this way yet. Kind of a little hard to hang on to because it's a smaller piece, which is fine. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but just be mindful. You take your time. I'm rushing here because I'm on tape, and I shouldn't be, but I do most of the time when I'm on video. But you know, take your time, folks. There's no race you're winning with this. It's just take your time with it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this rough stuff off from the knife, from the bandsaw. Okay, and we're going to round this hat up just a tad more. In fact, what I might do is round this head up a little bit more. Not quite as round as I'd like it to be. So let's just take little pieces of this off here. And this is going to be pulled off anyway, so we can chop some of this off here. And chop some of this just to give us a little bit of an idea. In fact, when we cut this off, the center would be about, if this is the actual, this is the center. Let's just put a center line right down. Probably close to that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave plenty of room. Okay, just about that much on either side. That's as far as we're going to go with that. So what we're going to do is just chop it off to there. Okay, Just like that. We're just gonna, and then chop. Take this portion off. I'll most likely make a video because I think this will be a nice little project if you know somebody that's going to have a shower. You know, it was a different request. I've never got a request for this one before. So it's certainly a new project. Now I don't know of anyone that has done one like this. So I thought it might be a nice one to do on YouTube and to show you on video here. And that's the nice thing about carving. You can come up with all kinds of ideas. You know, you just never know where you'll end up with an idea. Now my sitting duck one, I had one idea and I made up a pattern for that. And I came up with something a little bit different that I thought might be a little more fun to do. So I'm still in the process of getting that all worked out. So we'll get to that. I apologize for telling you that's what's going to come up next. But I thought I better do this because I won't have this piece with me for too long. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the top here, and we're going to just start trimming it around to the center line there, just like so. Okay, we're going to do the same thing over here. We're just going to take that corner off, and we're going to round it so we know where to go here. Same thing over here. We're going to round it up. Now the hat's going to be a little bit bigger than the face anyway, so what we want to do is just take everything off, all the rough saw marks off, and what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just round it to the center. Okay, blend all this in. Okay, just like that. You see how it's coming? That's what we're trying to do here. It's just to there. Okay, same thing here. We're just going to take that off there, and we're just going to round this up here. Take all those saw marks off, or the band saw. So what I actually did, folks, is you need to make two. I made the pattern, and then I sliced it right down the center, and you can tell this is just a tad, well, more than a tad smaller. It's probably a third smaller than this, but you'll get the idea of how to make one of these, you know. I think it will look fine once we get it to that point. And then I'll show you how to do that little swiggly thing on the top. Wasn't sure exactly how that was going to turn out when I first did it, but you know, really you need a super sharp knife for it, folks. And then what I did, like I told you, I super glued it. I just, you know, poured some of it over top of it so it gave it some strength. Okay. Alright, we'll be back.